Hi guys, welcome to a webinar of OpenLM. Thank you all for joining me. Today we'll be talking about how to harvest licenses and how you can customize your reports. Now let me just adjust the view here so I'll look a bit better. I think that's better. Wonderful. So what are we talking about here basically? Basically, we'll be talking about the agent, the Openlm Agent. We'll see everything that it can do, how it can allow you to harvest licenses, how it can allow you to prevent licenses from being pulled in the first place. We'll see how it allows you to manage your licenses and your license usage behavior. And lastly, we'll go over how you can customize reports in OpenLM, because a lot of clients come to us and they say, okay, that's great. We get the reports in OpenLM. We have all these management capabilities. That's great. But I need this custom field. I need this changed. I want to add countries into OpenLM. I want to add different departments based on workstation. Anything that you want. So for that, I'll show you the Reporting Hub, which is one of the OpenLM extensions, which allows you to play around with your data and pretty much do whatever you want. Now, keep in mind that you are welcome to write down a question in the GoToMeeting questions box. Once you have it, you think of something, just write it down. Now, I won't stop to answer each time, but it will accumulate and I will go over them near the end of the presentation, and we can have a short Q&A session and take it from there. So basically, as I said, the OpenLM Agent and Reporting Hub will be the two components that will play here, that we'll take a look at. So first of all, let's talk about the agent. The agent without the Applications Manager and the agent with the Applications Manager. So what is the OpenLM Agent basically? Well, you have the OpenLM server, the OpenLM core. You probably have the OpenLM broker on license managers, on license servers. But the OpenLM Agent goes on the workstation, on the end user workstation. Now this can be just installed or rolled out remotely, depending on what you want to do. So this can be connected directly into the OpenLM core. So you can harvest licenses, gather idle time, many more things that we'll talk about in a moment. Or you can send the same transmission straight through the Applications Manager. So all the agents will send data to the Applications Manager, and the Applications Manager will send it like a license server, like a license manager, send it to the broker and then the OpenLM server. The Reporting Hub allows you to get the OpenLM primary database and using an ETL engine, deposit the data in a reporting database. And from there you can use any BI tool to get your reports done based on the reporting database. Now you're probably asking yourself, why wouldn't I just connect to the primary database then? Because the primary database, first of all, you won't find anything that you need there. The OpenLM interface does all the calculations live, and you won't find anything. You won't find concurrent usage. You won't find barely licensed quantity. You won't even find session duration. You won't find anything there. You'll find 116 different tables. Good luck understanding which belongs to what. So basically, it's a mess that the system can understand. It's built for the OpenLM system. But the reporting database is built for a BI system. A BI system is made as a user-friendly interface which can allow you to create your own report just by dragging and dropping things into different places. So Let's start off with that. Let's start off with a bang. So the reporting hub, what is it? Besides that, basically it's just a database, but how can you use it? What is so special about it? The structure of the database. You'll get aggregated measures, you'll get calculated measures, you'll get pretty much everything that you'd want to get out of your system. So the embedded reports of OpenLM, let me just give you an example. The embedded reports of OpenLM, they will show you concurrent usage, they will show you denials, they will even show you how many licenses you need based on your usage. But what doesn't it do? What can't it do? Well, there are a few reports that we cannot produce inside OpenLM. But with the reporting hub, we can produce any report. So let's take an example. Let's say that, okay, you know the license utilization report, the license utilization that you know and love, and it tells you how many licenses you need in order to reduce your license amount. Now, if you want to increase the license amount, the embedded OpenLM reports don't give you that information. You can see the license utilization, and then you can see, oh, I have 70, I need only 30. That's great. But if you have 70 and you need 80, so the core system doesn't give you that. The reporting hub can. The reporting hub allows you to do all the different aggregations that you want in order to get the data that you want. So taking that example, opening up a report here, then we can see a report here that shows us not the amount of denials, but the amount of denials and the amount of denied users. You have 100 denials. Was that one user? Was that 100 users? Do you need one license or do you need 100 licenses? What's going on? So with this, we can simply see that, I need 4 more licenses in order to cover like 80% of my denials. You can even aggregate the denials however you'd like. For example, let's take one server and let's take a feature within it. And we see that we can stack the session concurrent usage with the denial, with the denied users. So we can see what's going on. We can get all the information in there. And let me show you. Let's, for example, choose this. So you get all the OpenLM information into a dashboard, into a BI, which you can create your own KPIs, you can create your own custom fields, whatever you choose. So, for example, in this instance, we can see the amount of denials, we can see the amount of concurrent usage, and subsequent denials when it reaches the license quantity line. Like this, like so. Now we can see the denials per user, user ratio, many calculated fields that the OpenLM interface simply doesn't have. Now, there are many sample reports here. I'm not going to go over every one of them. They're basically extended functionalities of the OpenLM report. So denials, you won't get only denials, you'll get many different aggregations or calculations of denials. Unused licenses, you'll see who is active versus who is inactive. So you can do whatever you want. And let me just demonstrate how easy it is to understand the structure and to create a report from it. So the structure that you get in the end, because this tool that you see right here is Power BI. It's a Microsoft tool, but you can use any BI tool that you want. You can use Tableau, Click, SaySense, anything. But this is Power BI, we use that. Now it's structured in a dimension and measures, which is very easy to understand. Users dimension, you got everything regarding the user, username, first name, last name, the group, the license, whatever. Now let's try and create a report of usage per user. So let's see how easy it is. So I want usage per user. So I'll take user, get the username inside, just drag it inside. And I want also the session duration. So I'll go to session duration table and get session duration from inside. I just drag it inside and that's it. I get a graph showing me each user and their total amount of session duration. Now, I'm not going to go and create all the different reports, but it's endless. You can drill down into groups, into users, into workstations, different licenses. You can aggregate and create different interactive dashboards that you'd want to create. Now, what else can it do? It can incorporate CSV files into your data, meaning that you can take a CSV, incorporate it into the Openlm database, the reporting database, and that's it. It's a part of your data now. For example, if I have country here, country is a dimension which is customized. It's not in OpenLM. So you can even create fields based on other fields. So you can calculate fields. For example, let's take transactions. That's a calculated field. That's like take all the denials plus all the sessions. So it's pretty much endless. I'm not gonna talk any more about it. Just if you want to try it out for yourself, you can contact the sales team. They can issue you a 60-day trial for this system. You can set up a few simple reports just to see that it gives you whatever you need, and then you can take it from there. So this is basically the way for OpenLM to give you all those reports that you wanted, all those reports that you just couldn't find in OpenLM, and well, you do need. Management is asking for them, and you can get a lot of insight out of a dashboard that you created because it's tailor-made to what you need. Now, this is the reporting aspect of this webinar. Now, there's another aspect that I want to talk about, is the license availability itself, because you can get the reports that you need and know that you need 5 more licenses, you need less 5, depends on what you want, on what you get. But the agent itself, the Openlm Agent, can allow you to actually decrease the utilization, decrease the amount of usage on those licenses, because it will tell you who is actually using. So if I opened up AutoCAD, for example, let's go to a workstation right here. This is my workstation. So I'll pull an AutoCAD license now. Now, me as an end user, you can't tell, as an admin, you can't tell what I am doing as an end user. I pulled a license, yes, but am I using it? Maybe I'm on Facebook. Maybe I went home. Maybe I'm in a meeting. Now, this license that's now on my workstation is unavailable for all the other users. Now, this means that you got a license which is not used, but it's being utilized as used. Meaning that you get false utilization. You can get much better license availability if you won't have that idle time. If you can say, okay, tops 30 minutes of idle time, then I'll just release the license. Now, the Openlm Agent allows you to do just that. Now, let's go back to my system here. And to remind you, I pulled an AutoCAD license. So let's take a look at my system. And here we can see my session. This is when I started. This is what I'm using. This is my workstation, demo v4, the server, and the group I'm in, my session duration, and the idle time right here. So I'm about a minute in of idle time. Now, let's say that I'm an administrator, and let's say that this is not 1 minute, but 10 hours. And I see, oh, Sagi has been idling for 10 hours. His application is not drawing any CPU and memory from the system, anything, for, let's say, 10 hours. So what should I do? I try to call him up, I try to close his workstation, nothing works. I don't know the guy, he's not answering, and I can't access his workstation. So what do? I just go and click Close App, and anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes, the application will simply close. It will automatically close on his workstation. Now, in this instance that you see right here, it will actually save the work. If I have something that I'm working on right now, I'm working on some project, then I will not lose the data. It will be saved. It will be closed and saved. Now, here we go. You can see it in front of your eyes. It just closed my application and popped up a little notification right here saying that the Openlm Agent has recently closed AutoCAD at system administrator's request. Wonderful. But you can do this automatically even, based on the idle time threshold. So you can tell Openlm, okay, I won't be here to click when it gets to 10 hours of idle time or 5 hours of idle time. I'm not going to be here as an admin. So the system, the Openlm system itself, can do it automatically. Just once it goes to a certain threshold of idle time, let's say if you're 5 hours of idle, then release the license. If license is being stressed, meaning that it's like used 99% and licenses are now stressed, that means that you can set the system to recognize that the license is being stressed and now start releasing licenses. But whose licenses? People who got more than, let's say, 5 hours of idle time. And start releasing licenses according to what is needed with that license. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's great, but what if I'm running something at night? What if I have midnight processing? I have something that has to run for like 2 days now. What do I do then? Won't it close my application? Well, no, it will not. What it does, let me open up Paint for a moment and I'll try to explain. What it does, you set a certain threshold of usage, CPU usage, memory usage, its I/O operations per minute, user usage, and so on. So if the Openlm agent recognizes usage, CPU usage, but it's only below that threshold, that means that it's idle. It's below the CPU threshold allocated to that. So it will be idle. But let's say that you're working on it or you have midnight processing. So it will go over that threshold and the Openlm agent will say, oh, okay, so now it's used and it's not idling right now. So this way it will not close your midnight or 2-day, 3-day processing in the middle. It will know that it's doing something right now. Now, this can be done for what you've seen now, the save and close, saves the work and closes the application. This can be done for Autodesk, MATLAB, ArcGIS, and Solidworks applications. Now, these are vendors, meaning that Solid Edge, Solidworks, all those are supported, and you can save and close for those vendors. But let's say it's not one of those. Let's say it's a FlexLM application, FlexLM managed application, like let's say Siemens NX. So Siemens NX, it cannot be saved and closed, yeah, but it can be suspended and the license released. meaning that it will not save and close the application. The application will remain working, but it will be frozen. The user will not able to interact with it whatsoever. And in the background, the license will be simply released. Once the user wants to get the license, he simply clicks open, and if there's a license available, he gets the license back into the system, and the process itself is being thought out, being unfrozen. So, but okay, let's say I'm not using one of the big 4 vendors. Let's say it's not a FlexLM application. Let's say it's an application managed by, I don't know, LMX or RLM or RMS. What do we do then? Then we can use agent procedures, which can simply kill the process or suspend the process of the application itself. So there we have a lot of options, either closing gracefully, closing ungracefully, suspending the application, releasing the license, whatever you choose. We have those options. It only depends on which application you are using it on. But what else can it do? Okay, it tells me the idle time, and then I can, I don't know, name and shame people. I can know that this guy is not using it right. I'll send him an email. I can release their license so other people will have licenses. So it gives you a lot of capabilities, a lot of benefits. If you take this and you combine it with a reporting hub, then you can have the full view, the full scope of what your users are doing. You'll know exactly when they're idle, when they're active, what happened there. You can sum it up and aggregate it and see that, oh, this user is barely working. I see is out of 10 hours, 9 hours of every day is doing nothing, is not working on the application. So you can have a wide view, a bird's eye view of what's going on with your users. You can control their behavior, because once they know they are being watched, they won't hog the license anymore. You'll use the active agent once in a while when someone forgets it. But I've been to some cases, I've seen some cases where I go to a system, a client system, and we try to get a license, but we cannot get a license. Half an hour, we cannot get a license, and it's maddening. So once we implemented the idle time and license harvesting, then about a week after, we had a session. He didn't change the amount of licenses he had, but suddenly we can get a license. Suddenly the license was released. So I asked him, is that the idle time? Is that the agent? He said, at first, yeah. But now my users, they know not to hog the license. So I use this just to keep them in check. So understand how powerful this is, extending beyond the licenses and going into your user's behavior. But what else can it do? You want more. What else can the OpenLM agent do? It can, as we said before, interface with the applications manager. Now, what does that do? The applications manager, it allows you to monitor not only floating licenses, also floating licenses, but not only floating licenses. You can monitor named licenses, node-locked licenses, licenses that simply, well, standalone applications that do not even have a license. You can monitor your floating licenses as well as your named licenses. You can show them separately or together, whatever you choose. Now, besides monitoring, the app manager allows you also to control license checkouts. Now, if the license harvesting allows you to control the session, so you can stop the session at any moment, the app manager allows you to prevent the session from even starting in the first place. Let me explain. Why do we need the app manager? Why do I care? Why do I care if I have a standalone application or a named license? I buy one license, one user, that's it. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Well, what if you got a named license for a user that uses 1 hour a day or 1 day a week? So that user can be in the floating license pool. He doesn't need to have a full named license just for himself. You can take that named license and give it to someone from the floating license pool that you see that works 10 hours a day, each day, 6 days a week. Just give him the named license. You'll save money this way. This way you'll be able to mix and match different licenses to fit different utilizations of different users. Now, what else can it do? I said that it can prevent license checkouts. Now, let's say AutoCAD. Same AutoCAD, but I'm going to say that my limit is 0 just for testing, because I only have one license here. So my limit is 0. Once I go to my workstation right here, and I try to get an AutoCAD license, I get denied. Not by the license manager, that is, I get denied by the app manager, by the agent, preventing me from opening the application. It tells me license limit reached. Now, license limit reached. That means that you can set a cap to the licenses that you have, because some vendors, they tell you, okay, I'm going to give you 20 licenses. But if you go over the 20 licenses and take 21 licenses, well, that 21st license, you will pay triple for it. You won't get denied. You will get the license, but you'll pay triple for it. So you can limit. You can say, oh, okay, so don't let anyone take the 21st license. This way you can prevent them from doing that in the first place. Now, it can also allow you to set different consumption rules. Now, the consumption rules, it means that you can allow or deny users from using the application according to many different criteria. So let's take a look at this one. If the application is an Autodesk application and the version is 2017 and the time is after 8 and before 5, then then deny usage. Now, this can be with the workstation, with the group. You can assign it to the user. For example, you can say these workstations or this group can only work with within this time frame. Or only 2009 application, because 2017, well, you don't have such a great policy on that, and 2009 you got new licenses, great policy, and you want everybody to just use that. So you can prevent them from using any other version and only use that. You can set that different groups of users will only be able to pull certain licenses. Like if you're supposed to be using only ArcGIS, not Autodesk, then you'll be denied from using Autodesk. This allows you to string all these different rules and conditions which will be taken into account before the user grabs the license. Now let's see what this did. So if the application is Autodesk, which we are about to pull, and it's between 8 and 5, which is now, then deny usage. So let's go back to the workstation. And now let's try to pull the license. So now I get denied due to normal USA working hours rule. That's the rule I set right here. You can change the name, of course, you can change the conditions, but basically you see that it denies me from getting that license, from starting that session, because I don't answer all the conditions that allow me to get a license. I answer conditions that deny me from getting licenses. So once this is changed, then we'll be able to go and simply get the license with no problem. So you see how OpenLM allows you to get a lot of control over your sessions, either sessions that have already started and you want to close them or suspend them, or sessions which did not even start yet, which you don't want them to start. You want to group and allocate your usage according to rules, according to criteria. You can't have anybody taking anything anytime because they want to. You want some rules. You want to set some standards. So you can do that with the app manager, with the agent. And lastly, you can get all the reports that you want from the active agent, from the idle time collection, the applications manager, all that. You can get to the reporting hub extension, play around with it however you'd like. Just create customized reports, schedule different reports, customize dashboards, adding different KPIs that you want, whatever you need. So basically, a complete solution of the OpenLM reporting and users, basically. Now, the last thing that I want to go over before I go to like Q&A session and start answering some of your questions is that we have a new service. It's called a checkup. So we can give you a health check, a complete OpenLM health checkup. We go over your brokers, we go over your servers, we go over the OpenLM server, the agents, the easy admin, we go over all the different extensions, we go over your database. We check everything that needs to be checked with the system. If it's configured right, if you have maybe extensions that you have but you're not using, so why not use them? We can find all the different issues you have hiding in your logs. You don't come for specific issues. Usually when you call support, we come for specific issues, deal with that, and that's it. We don't look around for anything that might be wrong. So with the health check, we go over all your system, and then you're certain, and you get a valid system. You're certain that your OpenLM system is completely configured. You're getting validated information into your system, valid data, and it's open as a service. If you want, you can contact the sales team at sales@openlm.com. I suggest to do this because the OpenLM system is a big system. There are a lot of extensions. There are many things that you didn't even know that you have in your system, or you didn't know that you misconfigured, or maybe you configured, but it can be configured to give you so much more. So it really depends. I strongly recommend having a checkup, the health check to your system, just to be sure that everything is all set up correctly. Because believe me, I've seen way too many systems that are just half configured but without some benefits, or maybe a few extensions that the users simply missed out completely, and then they started using and they already bought them. So now let's move on to the Q&A session. I see I have a few questions waiting for me right here. So can you please show where I can find the reporting hub and where I need to connect to via Power BI? This is Mikhail. Oh, hey Mikhail. He's one of our reseller. So basically, the reporting hub, we install it. You set up a session with the OpenLM support staff. We go live. We install the system. You cannot download it by yourself. You cannot install it by yourself. It needs to be with a support team personnel. You'll get a license. You can get a 60-day trial license, and just check it out for yourself, of course, for your clients. And Power BI we use desktop Power BI. This is like the free version of Power BI, because we cannot create an extension that creates a database and then have nothing to show that database. So we use Power BI. But you can use any BI tool that you want. It's a database. Anything that can connect to a database and extract data from there you can use. If it's CSense, Click, even if you just want to connect using Excel, you can even do that. Just anything, any editor that you like. So George is asking, I see this session is being recorded. Where can I find the recording? So once the session is over, our wonderful marketing team will send it out to you. I believe it sends it out to all the attendees. In any case, I will check that you did get the recording. Anyone else have any question about what you've seen, about the agent, the reporting hub? Oh, you're most welcome, George. Have a good day, Mikhail. Okay, I have a question about the reporting hub. Mike is asking, how can I get it? Okay, so again, if you want to get the reporting hub, simply contact the either OpenLM sales team and ask for the evaluation license, or support team, and we'll just pass it through the sales team, because in any case, you'll get to the support team for installation. No, it's not such a big installation. It takes anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to get the reporting hub set up. The runtime depends on your database. Basically, it can take anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours. If you have a terabyte of data, it will take a few hours. But if you have a few gigabytes, it will take a few minutes. Okay, guys, so I see that no one has any more questions. Then I would thank you very, very much for joining me in this webinar. I hope it was informative for you. I hope that you learned a bit about what OpenLM can offer beyond its core product. And I have a question. One moment. Oh, just thank you. You're most welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. So bye, guys. Have a great day.